It's Trade Rumors Friday here on WIP. And
some rumors got hot and heavy, boy.
Did we get a juicy one yesterday? Let's just listen to it, and then we can react to it and talk through the whole thing. So this is Charles Robinson. This is longtime NFL reporter Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports. He was doing an interview about the NFL trade deadline on 102.5 The Game in Nashville. Listen to what he said he's hearing about your Philadelphia Eagles.
Rumor going around, and I have not heard it out of the Eagles, but I've heard it from a couple of other high-ranking people in other teams that are clearly on the phones that, Howie Roseman and the Eagles are super hot after Myles Garrett, and how he'd give up like 3 first-round picks for him, which, if it's coming from the Eagles, those are 3 late firsts, so it's like even arguable. When you get through the draft process, how many first-round grades do you really have? Maybe you have between 14 and 18 in a typical year. And that means that if you're drafting in the late 20s, early 30s, you're not even getting a player that's really considered on your board. Unless you're lucky, you're not getting a player that maybe you have a first-round grade on. So that's kind of like this rumor that's out there that, hey, like Howie would really love a shot at him.
All right, let's unpack it, Hugh. It's out there now. It's similar to what we heard in the offseason, which was the Eagles and Myles Garrett. It was a thing. And I remember when he was at the on Radio Row on the afternoon show, was cheering at him and chanting at him, that whole thing.
Yeah. So that was the afternoon show.
That was the afternoon show. And we he was there, and it was a thing where he was asking for a trade. Ultimately, he re-signed with the Cleveland Browns, and we thought this was off the table. And it's back on the table. But Hugh, we have some things, like we have these things on our show that we adhere to, right? The commandments, the creed, the core values of our show, right?
Yes.
And one of them is new information, new opinions. And I have to start with this. When we had the discussion in March about Myles Garrett and the Philadelphia Eagles, I was on the side of I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't give up multiple first-round picks and pay him. And I was concerned that he's getting closer to 30, and the Eagles have young pass rushers. They have to pay Jalen Carter, all this stuff. And you and I were aligned that day. And Hugh, that was then, and this is now. And I look at it now today, and I say, Myles Garrett has not declined an ounce. In fact, he has 10 sacks. He had 5 sacks. 5 sacks on Sunday.
He went off.
He is the best defensive player in the sport, still is, and I think he could stay that way for at least a few more years. I look at what the Eagles have, and they have told us now, Hugh, multiple times in multiple ways, they're not happy with their pass rush. I mean, just think about what we've heard the last few months. They tried to trade for Micah Parsons. They made a big offer for Micah Parsons. It didn't work out. They then go sign Zadarius Smith. He was here, and then he leaves. They go bring in Brandon Graham. They clearly think they need a boost there, and there's no bigger boost in pro football than getting Myles Garrett. So they're telling us they don't have enough. He's obviously not in any sort of decline close to the age of 30. And I look at it like this. The Eagles are already a damn good football team that's coming off a Super Bowl. I believe if they acquire Myles Garrett now, it is the key and the linchpin to a dynasty. I'm not kidding. If they get Myles Garrett now, I believe we're talking about a team that will win the NFC and get back to the Super Bowl again and have a real chance to win a second straight Super Bowl. Everything else is in place. And I look at the NFC, and the only thing I think that could trip them up is they're going to have to go through a lot of good offenses and quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. And this defense this year has not been as great. And I look at what they have on the other side. And I look at what Myles Garrett could bring. Jared Goff's a heck of a quarterback. But you know what he can't do? He can't move. If you pressure him, he's cooked. Jordan Love's really good quarterback. But you know what happened a few weeks ago? The Browns, with Myles Garrett, beat them because they pressured Jordan Love all day. Sam Darnold last year. He's good, and he's on the Seahawks now. What happened to him in the first round of the playoffs? He got pressured, and he folded like a cheap suit. The NFC is there for the taking again. Myles Garrett puts the Eagles over the top. And look, 3 first-round picks is a huge price. But would anyone out there listening say you wouldn't trade the next 3 first-round picks for a dynasty? I'm in. Go get Myles Garrett. I believe it takes the Eagles from a Super Bowl champion that will remain a contender to a dynasty over the next 3 years. 215-592-9494. That is how you hop aboard on a Halloween Friday. Hugh Douglas, would you trade 3 first-rounders for Myles Garrett? I mean, I'm hot. I'm super hot for Myles. Are you?
Allow me to unpack this just a little bit.
Go ahead.
Because there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate that. It's starting early on Friday. There's a lot that's going through my head when I think about this, the potential of all of this. Mm-hmm. The first thing that I'm thinking about, Joe, is that when you talk about cap hits and ramifications of getting rid of players and all that stuff, that kills that conversation for anybody that wants to have it, especially when we talk about trading different people. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the Cleveland Browns just traded Myles. They just signed Myles Garrett.
Sure, but isn't that their problem? Isn't the cap? It's their problem.
Allow me to finish.
Go ahead.
Because I feel like you think I'm about to disagree with you.
Well, I don't know what you're going to say.
Okay, well, if you allow me to land, like OG Ray say, allow me to land this plane.
Land the plane.
So it kills that conversation when people like to feel secure by saying, well, his cap hit is going to be too much and all this other stuff. Like, that kills that conversation. We are closer to the NBA now than we've ever been before if this rumor is true. Like, that's how I feel. So all those people I like to argue, like, this makes no sense because so-and-so has a no-trade clause or, they just gave him this kind of money. And this, like, that kills that conversation dead at the door. Number two, when you talk about giving up 3 first-round draft picks, Howie's bread and butter over the last few seasons, his tenure since he's been here, has been his ability, whether it's hit or miss, to replenish the ranks when it comes to this football team. And he does that by getting young, stalwart players that play well for him that are under contract. He does a great job of that. So there's that. And then when you talk about getting a guy like Myles Garrett, that whole defense is a luxury thing, that kind of shifts the balance of power just a little bit.
Oh, sure does.
Yeah, when you get that player, because for all y'all that don't understand, and I said it all the time, that the biggest reason why I've always said that defense is a luxury, not a necessity, because most of the assets that we've accrued have been on the offensive side of the ball.
That would change that.
That would definitely change that. Not only that, Joe, you give up 3 first-round draft picks. This offense is getting older. So that's going to set you.
Are you in?
No, I'm allowed. You said you let me long talk. I'm long talking.
Yeah, but I don't know where you're going with it. I'm impatient. Aliens don't have patience.
I wouldn't do it.
You what?
No, I wouldn't do it because listen, you're setting your franchise back, and you're in a good spot. I feel like you're going to set your franchise back a little bit by giving up 3 first-round draft picks because your offense is getting older. We don't even have a replacement for Lane Johnson. We don't have a replacement for Lane, correct?
Correct.
A.J. Brown is getting a little longer in the tooth. Our quarterback looks like he's starting to hit his stride as far as being that stalwart MVP, elite quarterback. Feels like that's happening. So if we give up 3 first-round draft picks, that puts us in a position. I mean, and we've drafted well, but we won't be able to get premier talent at potentially that tackle spot.
But the premier talent is Garrett. It's Myles Garrett.
I mean, I get it. That's a lot.
Man,
that's a lot.
That's a lot. 3 first-round picks is a lot. I don't disagree with you on that. It would be one of the biggest trades in NFL history in terms of compensation. But how many players are worth the kind of we're talking about an all-time player, right? You actually, when we spoke about it last year, were more on the side than I was and just how great he is.
He is.
I mean,
man.
I think you can make a case that he's going to put up when it's all said and done. I'll say it this way. I think he has a real chance to break the all-time sack record.
Yeah, because he's in his prime, and he already has like well over 100
well
now,
over
right?
100. On Sunday, he surpassed Reggie White for the most sacks ever before the age of 30. We're talking about an all-time player on a team that already has enough to compete anyway. I mean, the Eagles are going to be in the second round probably just by accident.
Yeah.
Right? So then, how do they win 3 more games to win another Lombardi? This guy tips the balance in the NFC. I think he tips the balance in the whole NFL if he comes here. And I'm not as afraid as I was in March that maybe age is going to get to him. He doesn't look like it's slowing him down at all. He's still a dominant football player. And look, 33 years ago, the Eagles let Reggie White leave, or Reggie White chose to leave, and he was coming off of 8 straight double-digit sack seasons. Myles Garrett has 8 straight double-digit sack seasons. I mean, this doesn't have – you don't usually let players like that walk away. You don't usually have the chance to acquire players like that. If the cost is 3 first-round picks to create a dynasty, I'm in. I'm going to get Myles Garrett.
I mean, it's very – I'm not going to lie. It's very intriguing.
And let me just throw this out there quick, and we can unpack the whole thing as we go throughout the show. You mentioned replenish the ranks, draft picks. There's other ways to recoup draft picks. I've said this many times the last few weeks. I don't believe A.J. Brown's going to be an Eagle for much longer, whether that's Tuesday or that is this offseason. Now, you're not going to recoup 3 first-round picks for A.J. Brown, but you could recoup some draft picks for A.J. Brown that you put back into the whole thing. I also don't know if they're going to end up paying all the guys we think they're going to pay. So you might say, Myles Garrett's expensive. well, he's worth the money. I'm not sure the other guys they have here that they're going to pay in the next few years are worth the money. 215-592-9494. Let's have the conversation. According to Charles Robinson of Yahoo, longtime NFL reporter, the Eagles are super hot after Myles Garrett. Kyle, what are you thinking as we're back here with the Myles Garrett trade rumors?
Howdy, partners. First of all, happy Halloween.
Howdy.
Yep. I'm very disappointed in Hugh. Appalled, actually.
It's really because you used to be a pass rusher.
No, you know what? Because, and I apologize to everybody because I'm thinking logically in a world where this is illogical. Because when you think about
illogical.
this, it's not. Well, a little bit. Because when you think about it, it's like it's a lot of whys for me, and there's a lot of boxes that it's a lot of whys and okay, now what type situation for me.
I got a why.
Why?
We can go back to back.
That's it.
It's hard to go back to back.
Go back to back.
It'd be easier to go back to back with Myles Garrett.
I would trade my entire draft this year for Myles Garrett. I don't care. I would do whatever it takes. I don't care. I would do whatever it takes. I got news for you, fellas. With this whole draft picks thing, you know who already is the second youngest team in the NFL?
The Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, at a certain point, it's like, are we going to start just trying to go all in on this window, or are we just going to keep
back to back, though?
Imagine Santa Clara.
Myles Garrett's 29, by the way. He has 10 sacks this season. Just had 5 in the last game. You could argue he's not only the best defensive player in the NFL, you could argue he's the best player in the NFL.
I agree. You could right now, if they voted right now the way they do in the offseason, he might be the best player in the league.
And you want to put him on the defending Super Bowl champions. I don't care about the money. How will you figure that out? We'll cross that bridge when we get there with all the other guys. Go get Myles Garrett. I'm so hot for Myles Garrett, fellas. So hot.
I've never been hotter.
You guys are ridiculous. Where you getting the money from though? Because now, like one of my biggest stances about this last year was the Jalen Carter effect.
Okay, you want to address the elephant in the room?
Let's go.
Okay, so when we had this discussion in March and we kind of projected forward, right? And I think you and I were on the same page that day. We had the discussion. We're like, how do you do this, right? Because soon Jalen Carter's going to cost $40 million. We know A.J. Brown costs $30 million. That's $70 million, right?
Yes.
Are we sure either of those guys are going to get paid that much money by this franchise next season? I'm not.
That's a good question.
So A.J.'s money could be off the books if he's gone after the season. And let's address it. We've kind of danced around it. There's no way on God's green earth right now I would pay Jalen Carter $40+ million a year. You have an extra year before you have to pay him. You could delay that decision. I don't think he's played up to that level. I mean, Hugh, I don't know what the Eagles think about all this, but perhaps they've watched Jalen Carter not be in great shape, according to Vic Fangio, get thrown out of a game, have shoulder injury, wrist injury, not dominate this season, and perhaps they're saying, I wonder if over the next 3 years, $40 million to Myles Garrett is a better way to spend money than paying it to Jalen Carter. I mean, they may have changed their mind on Carter.
I don't know. Now, Jordan Davis has had a pretty decent season. He's had a quiet one because he's been out there just doing his work.
Sure.
And he's, in his situation, the more we don't say about him, the better it is for him.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I don't know how this defense looks without Jalen Carter in the middle. And I think he's an integral part of this defense.
But he could be here next. They don't have to do anything to his
I
contract for
know they don't.
2 years.
We're talking about the back-to-back. But, again, moving forward, I know the guy that's going to benefit tremendously from this is Myles Garrett. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Cleveland's primarily in a 4-3 defense. So that changes our defense.
Dude, Myles Garrett is going to be
just fine. Well, they're probably going to – you know what? Like, to be honest, if he's here, he's big enough. They'll probably put him at that D tackle spot with / defensive end and modify the defense a little bit. But, again, the defense is going to change.
Yeah.
It's going to accommodate. Yeah, it's going to
maybe I could just sell you on this. Kyle brought up that he already has 10 sacks this season.
No, I mean, I get it, fellas, but to me,
doesn't sound like
I hear. No, I get it, but to me, I'm steeped in logic with this, and that's where I'm kind of stuck because to me, it makes no sense. You should have brought a
calculator in today instead of your outfit here.
I know. I should have brought a calculator.
Can I throw some math at you because you're a lot of math you're throwing at us today with salary cap. Myles Garrett has 10 sacks. Our edge rush group. Combined, all of them.
You don't have to.
They have 4.5, and guess what? 1.5 of those retired 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you don't have to remind me.
They have 3 sacks from the edge guys on the roster right now. Come on, it's a lot, but this player's worth it. And again, don't you want to have a dynasty?
I wouldn't mind having a dynasty.
I don't think he wants to go back to back.
You don't want to go back to back.
I wouldn't mind going back to back. It's hard.
But you don't want to go back to back.
But I don't think realistically. I don't think this is is going to happen.
Well, I don't care about that. I want Howie to do it.
No,
I mean, like,
where do you think we are right now?
No, I know.
Have you seen the way we're dressed today?
Hey, listen, we're dressed up in costumes trying to be serious and have a serious radio show.
Dead serious.
I picked the wrong day to be a professional.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
You got pencil pusher Douglas over here.
I can't believe that you used to be a pass rusher.
This is ridiculous.
This guy's the best pass rusher in the sport.
Now, listen, because I heard it last night, and I was like, no way. And then you start looking at different media outlets, and everybody's talking about it. And now this is where I'm like trying to be steeped in reality.
Stop.
That's why. Yeah, I know. But I can't help it.
Well, listen.
I can't help it.
Are there ramifications? Sure. Will it change the draft the next few years? Sure. Money? Sure. Because it means Jalen Carter might not be here in 2 years? Sure. I don't care.
Dude, Jalen Carter and Myles Garrett on the same line. We may never give up a yard again.
It would be.
Okay.
I mean, just think about it.
Now, whoa.
Think about this. Think about the Super Bowl this year, and whether it's Mahomes again
lost me.
or Josh Allen again. Think about it. Think about it. All right, 2-1-5.
Nobody will ever score on us ever.
5-9-2.
Not even a yard.
They wouldn't even get in the red zone. 2-1-5, 5-9-2, 94-94. Would you trade 3 first-round picks to go get Myles Garrett? I'm in.